Thank you, Mark. In October, we shared with you the future state organizational design with these five building blocks. It was and still is our blueprint for evolving our current structure, which is very functionally focused, to an organizational structure that makes it easier for us to support a seamless customer experience from end to end. We knew at that time and shared with each of you that building this structure would be a year-long transition. And today, about 4 months in, I'm excited to share with you some of the progress that's been made and what you'll see coming up next. If you remember, each of the five building blocks represents a new department. Our first block is customer advocacy. This building block represents the department that will provide curated customer and dealer experiences with a seamless mix of self service capabilities and human interaction. Our second building block is customer transitions. This block represents the department that will provide a seamless and curated process for customers and dealers at the beginning and end of the customer lifecycle. Next, there is the innovation and transformation building block. This department will drive strategic improvement initiatives based on close collaboration and feedback. Early on, there was a thought that innovation and transformation might be supported in separate departments. Just like many of the concepts in SCT, there was continued analysis and exploration, which led to the conclusion that given the close charter between the future focused nature of innovation and transformation work, these teams could be effectively merged into one even more effective group. Following innovation and transformation is the customer insights building block. This department will leverage both internal and external data to expand value generating activities to pivot us from a cost focused to a value driven organization. Our final building block is performance management. Given the magnitude of change required to deliver on the mission of SCT, quite a lot of consideration was given to the order of operation to reorganize our teams. In anticipation that we will need to partner in new ways to better meet future challenges, there was a need to launch the performance management team as the first building block. In the performance management department, we will steer the support teams responsible for training, quality, knowledge management, business compliance, business solutions, vendor performance, and workforce optimization. Each of these teams has at the core of its mission a critical role to support our internal customers so that they can effectively support our external customers. By establishing this team first, it will provide the rest of the organization a firm foundation on which to continue establishing the building blocks. I would venture to guess that in the last few months, you may have asked yourself why this process is taking so long. I want to take you back to the image of the cruise ship that was associated with SCT early on. If you've ever been on a cruise ship or even a smaller boat at some point, you know how changing direction must typically happen slowly. Moving too quickly will almost always guarantee a poor outcome. In order to ensure the smoothest transition possible, the SCT program will launch each department over a series of steps to smooth out the transition. The first step is establishing the proper organization structure. A lot of care and attention is given to examining the purpose and objective of each new team. Time is taken by leadership to align on the purpose the team must serve, and consideration is given to how the team can be structured in such a way that its most important resources, people, can be put to their highest and greatest use. After the high level organization structure is designed, a leader is identified to support the new team. As a new leader in a new department, I can share with you my personal experience. I want to do a good job and to be thoughtful about how I onboard members of the new team, which means that I've had to do a lot of listening, a lot of analyzing, and a lot of processing. This analysis leads to the next step of identifying the specific skills, capabilities, and roles that the new department requires. With clarity around the team's purpose and roles comes the next task of identifying team members to join the organization. This process is probably the most critical to success and also a complex one. Care must be taken to ensure that team members have an opportunity to understand what will be required of them should they accept the opportunity to transition to the new team. And team members must be identified and transitioned in sequence. Leaders first and then team members to ensure that each person is well supported upon their transition. So if at times it may seem that the process is slow, Please understand it's an intention and not an accident. By proceeding in a thoughtful and careful way, we are reducing the probability that we tip the ship. This is not to say that changing directions on a ship of this size won't be without discomfort, but we are far more likely to achieve success if we are deliberate and methodical. I personally am pretty impatient at times, so I know that waiting can be hard. And if you're still left wondering how you can help, I would say there are some things you can do right now to prepare yourself for the organization's transformation. Please use this time before the organization changes to do the inside work of thinking about your personal career journey. What course are you on? Is your personal ship pointed in the right direction? Do you enjoy what you're doing? Do you know what problems you want to solve? Do you know what you're better at doing than anyone else? Do you think that your leader knows? I personally find myself doing the inner work when I'm doing things like the dishes or folding laundry or just starting my day. Take this time to get clear about the skills that you have and the skills that you may need after you transition to a new building block. Giving thought to how the organization will transform and how your own work might transform is what I think of as the inner work. If you're still looking for more ways to get ready for the organization's transformation, I would then ask you to make sure that your own work is documented. What projects are you working on? What ideas have you had about things that might make the customer experience smoother? What knacks and tricks have you established to do your work? Make sure that your work is well documented. This will help us to ensure that nothing critical is lost during this transition. Even though we are doing our very best to ensure that nothing is missed, your personal notes, conversations with your leader, process documents will go a long way toward that end. I would also urge you to remember that the work you're doing today is mission critical. Whether you are on the front line supporting our customers or if you are supporting a process or system that supports someone on the front line, it's so very important that you stay focused and not be distracted. If you have questions or feedback, please remember that you can reach out to your supervisor or respond to one of the SCT surveys. We're truly using all of your feedback. I want to thank you in advance for all the work that you've done, for all the work that you will do throughout this transition, and for all the work that you're going to do after the transition. Mark?